Hi, and welcome to TrackTick Online Learning. In this video today, we're going to look at how to create and edit checkpoints. A checkpoint is an area required to check of either a building, a outdoor area, or as part of a audit for an item that has to be verified. First, let's go to the site list to select the location that we'll be creating checkpoints. Select the View button, and any configuration for this site for the employees to complete activities will be found in the Security and Patrol tab. Select it, and the first item in the Patrol menu is checkpoints. To create a checkpoint, select the plus button, and you have the option to put the name of the checkpoint, as well as the special description, which will also include instructions, if you'd like, that will appear on the mobile device when the employee is viewing the checkpoint. You also have an option to define who is eligible to scan this checkpoint. This is an option in case certain checkpoints need to be checked by certain positions. A good example would be a supervisor requiring to do the check versus a security officer required to do the check. If this is not the case, you can leave it to all. If it is, you can select the position associated to conduct the check. The located at refers to selecting from a site location list that you have created for this particular property. You can select from the list, which will link the actual checkpoint to this actual location. This will appear on the reports to be more precise for where this checkpoint is located. Checkpoint monitoring options allows you to decide how often you want to check this area. We have the option to set up a scan at regular intervals, which could be determined in minutes, hours, days, and weeks. We also have the option to to check this area as part of a tour, which means that you'll have a group of checkpoints that you can check, and this will be part of that group. And the final option is to scan this checkpoint at random times. This will simply mean this checkpoint is eligible to be scanned at any point in time by the mobile device when it's been selected. The last part is how it will be scanned and registered. You have the option to register as a log, which will simply indicate the time it was scanned. You also have the option that when it's scanned to display a message. This will allow the user to see the message for the activity they've completed by scanning the checkpoint. Other options include opening a report form, which means that you can have the user, after scanning the checkpoint, form to complete as part of their check. The exception verification validate range refers to asking a question to indicate what range a certain measurement is in. A good example would be checking the temperature for a server room. The exception verification yes no allows you to create questions where you can have no as the exception. This would mean that whenever the user does scan an area and indicates that it is not in compliance by saying no, an exception report will be created. You can also link this to any of the incident categories that you may want to track the frequency of this exception. You can also have yes as the exception, which would mean that when the user or employee indicates answers yes, this will create the exception report as well as allow to track the type of incident associated with it. Lastly, you can have as many questions as you'd like in the system to start tracking for a particular checkpoint. These series and questions are usually set up for audit purposes in the event you may be checking a fire extinguisher or an AED. Once you have indicated the action that is created from the scan, you have the option to allow manual scan. This is simply stating that the user, when it's set up as no, must scan a NFC token or a barcode to acknowledge that this has actually been scanned. The user cannot select the checkpoint from the mobile device to scan it. In most cases, you'll always want to maintain a no so that the user is forced to scan the checkpoint or barcode. If it is yes, the user is not required to scan a checkpoint or barcode. If the user has the option yes with a reason, this means that even if the user does select the checkpoint without having to scan a barcode or NFC token, they still must indicate in text on the mobile device the reason they have selected the actual checkpoint. Let's look at an active checkpoint. We have a basement, and let's put in some details, instructions. Once we've done that, we can also add the actual location. So we have the checkpoint available in the basement. We have the special instructions to check the furnace door in the utility room. And to make sure that in the report we've identified the specific location for this checkpoint, we've added the furnace door here. This checkpoint can be scanned by any position. And we've set this up to be checked randomly. Once this is actually scanned, it will log the time of that actual scan. And the user must scan a barcode or NFC token to acknowledge this checkpoint. For more information on setting up a checkpoint and checkpoint details, select the question mark and head over to Tractic University and type in checkpoints. Here you'll learn about how to create a barcode checkpoint, create and edit a checkpoint, as well as other details for setup, NFC tags, and tokens. Thanks. Until next time.